G'day, Azza here from A&M Tackle Solutions. Today I'm going to show you a little bit about shaky head fishing. Now what I've got here is a FinTech title shot shaky head. Now you can see it looks similar to a normal jig head, but it's got a retainer on the inside of the plastic. It's got a 90-degree turned eyelet, and it's also balanced. So when it sits on the bottom, it's going to sit flat. When you give it a little jig, this little eyelet, because it's turned that way, gives you more leverage, and it's going to flick the tail up. Just flick it around, and it's going to shake along the bottom just like it's a worm. So we're going to flick this out, we're going to give the rod a bit of a shake and show you some of these little bits and pieces about shaky head fishing. So now you want to use a nice long fluorocarbon leader. It has to be fluorocarbon because it sinks, mono will float and won't give you the same action. Now I've got a 4-metre leader on this. Nice long cast. If you want, you can go full fluoro the whole way through. I like to just use braid and then fluoro leader. Now you want to watch your line until it gets the loop so you know it hits the bottom. Now it's on the bottom, we just want to shake that loop, and it's not a vicious shake, it's just a really subtle one, and we're only moving the loop, so we're just lifting the loop up and down, pulling almost till you get touch the lure, and then lock, up, down, up, down. So you just want to get to contact with the lure and then drop it again. So you can do that as many times as you want, and then every now and then you need to wind very slowly, or you can drag your rod. Now if you find that you've got a little bit of weight on the end and you think it's a fish, strike. But if you know there's some twigs or some rocks down there, hit a rock and then maybe do some sharper shakes just on that rock to try and get over it. So the worm will go along, hit the rock, as it's shaking, then it pops over it. A lot of the time a fish will be sitting next to a rock or a twig or anything like that, and that's where the fish will be. So just sit there, got a little rock on, so I'll just shake it a bit, then I'll drag it over the top, and then all I'll do is just shake the loop in the line. Now this isn't a searching technique, this is what you use once you locate fish. So you can locate fish with the electronics by using your sounder, or you can flick along with a vibe or something else, but it's a good deep water technique on shutdown fish. So what you want to do is use any plastic that's got a lot of movement in the tail. Slim profile, this one's got a little paddle tail, but you can use a curl tail, you can use a straight tail worm, use anything like that, as long as it's got thin body profile like a worm and the tail's got a lot of action. Okay, now I thought we'd have a little chat about jig heads. This one here is our shaky head. Now you've got this little retainer that the plastic sits on, that retainer, and that'll just fall down when the fish bites. It's got the turned eyelet like I said before, so it gives you the leverage to flick it up and down, just up and down. Nice long shank hook for all the worm style plastics, and it's a great jig head. It's going to stand up on the bottom, drag it, shake it, it's beautiful to use. The other one I use is a knuckleball jig head. Now this is also a stand-up jig head. It's got a recessed eyelet, and it's at the balance point of the jig, which is going to give the action, but also it's a stand-up head, so it's going to wobble around on the bottom and act like a worm. So they're both really good for snag resistance, really good for shaking around your rocks or your branches, that type of thing, and even on your flats. Now these two jig heads I use for 95% of my shaky head jigging. The other one, this one called an SS Minnow. Now it looks a little different. It's got a little blade which you can remove if you want. It's got 2 eyelets. Now the reason I like this one is because the second eyelet is so I can use it for shaky head fishing, or you can use it for vertical jigging. But if I tie the line to that one, it's going to again give me the leverage to shake the jig. So the front one, if I tied it to there, it's just going to jig it like normal. If I tied it to the back one, it's going to pull it and lift the tail. Allow me to use it like a worm. This has also got a nice shaped bottom, so it'll stand up. So as long as you've got a jig head that'll stand up, it'll work. Now we'll talk about some plastics. Now everyone knows the good old squidgy wriggler. It's a great worm style plastic. Worm, I mean thin profile, quite long, and a nice tail. The other one I use is an atomic paddle tail. So slim profile, a tail that moves really well. You got the power bait, which everyone knows, the good old power bait. This one here's a little jerk shad. Jerk shad's got a beautiful tail, and this one's a power worm. So once again, they've all got great tails. They go on the jig head, they'll stand up, and they'll all act like a worm. Okay, thanks.